Hi, welcome to Good Readers Review. I am Anya and this is my review of Independence by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. If you already read this book, write down your honest review in the comments section below. Before reviewing the book, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Opinions expressed in this review are completely my own. So, let's get on to the book review so you can fill up your to-read list. This book is 336 pages and written in English. The book's publication date was January 17, 2023. Independence, by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni, is a historical fiction novel. But this book genre can be put into historical fiction, historical, Indian, Asia, Indian literature, adult fiction, adult, novels, and family categories also. Set in West Bengal as India readies herself for freedom against a foreign rule, Independence by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni is the story of three sisters, written from their individual POVs. The story begins with the vibe of Pride and Prejudice, though soon it melts away, letting the book's own spirit surface on the pages. In 1946, with the Second World War over and Indian independence finally on the horizon, Indians were beginning to dream of a country truly their own, where the racist and arbitrary dictums of British administrators would no longer apply. Where equality and fraternity would mean true freedom for all Indians. Where a woman would not be looked down upon for wanting to study medicine, and a young couple would not be derided simply because they happened to be of different faiths. But the road to Nehru's tryst with destiny was fraught with anguish and anger, stained with the blood and tears of millions. Thousands lost their homes, their every possession, and their dignity. Even in a land like Bengal, where Nazrul Giti and Rabindranath Sangeet, Bon Bibi, and the worship of Purs had long been a reflection of the region's syncretism, hatred and fear became the order of the day. Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni's Independence is set in this Bengal. In a village named Ranapur, where lives a doctor, Nabakumar Ganguly, with his wife Beena and their three daughters, Deepa, Priya, and Jamini. Deepa is luminously beautiful. Priya is ambitious and forward-looking, dreaming of being a doctor like her father. And Jamini, crippled by a leg that's too short, is relegated to being the good girl, who sits at home and helps Beena with the housework or with embroidering kantha quilts. Each chapter in Independence is told from the point of view, though throughout in the third person, of one of these three sisters. The narrative begins in August 1946, and continues over the next year and a half, moving between Ranapur and Calcutta, then further afield to Dhaka and far beyond, to America. The sisters find love, follow their dreams, and step out of the sheltered, protected environs of their Bengal countryside home. As violence erupts in Calcutta, they try to deal as best as they can with their suddenly changed circumstances. Then, as hatred grips Bengal even more fiercely, with, a year later, the partition, they are forced to take even more painful decisions. Tough decisions and dilemmas are two of the pivotal aspects of Independence. Banerjee Divakaruni's heroines find themselves pulled between love and duty, heart and mind, ties of blood, and ties of the soul. They do not always take the best decision or the most altruistic one. Often they are impulsive, often driven by selfish concerns, but invariably believable. This is one of the things that stand out most vividly about this novel. The main protagonists are three-dimensional, their thoughts and emotions understandable, and their fears and hopes palpable and real. Banerjee Divakaruni deftly draws the backdrop to the story of the Ganguly women, the Bengal of the late 1940s, its social fabric now rent by schisms. A land where prejudice and fear grip the populace, but where there is, too, the occasional hope held out by people who will still be ruled by goodwill and the idea of universal brotherhood, or sisterhood. Interwoven with that are fleeting glimpses of a larger canvas, a wider world. Newly independent East Pakistan, trying to hold its own against its larger and more dominant Western counterpart. India as a whole, with Gandhi, Nehru, and Vallabhbhai Patel struggling to unite a scattered land. Faraway America, land of hope and land of dreams, but with its own prejudices, its own problems. Independence is a story of women struggling to hold their own in a world pitted against them. A story of anger and hate, versus forgiveness and compromise. It is both a story of individuals and of a people, an insight into one of the darkest periods in modern Indian history. It is about love, the love between sisters, between parents and offspring, and between lovers. In its climax, it is a tense and nail-biting adventure. Well, I think I make it sound as if I hated the book. No, I didn't. Despite all the disappointment I point out, this was an unputdownable read for me. But as I said, my expectation from this author is high, and I think, rightly so. Though I did not feel invested in any character, and though, so many times, I found the plot movement forced, I was always eager to know what happened next. This charm, the author still manages to pull off for me, and I end up reading the last 50 pages of Independence with the light of my phone torch. Till 3 a.m. I think this book will work better for non-Indians who are not well aware of the Indian struggle for independence. The author presents history well, but for most Indians, there is nothing new to know here. Also, how the political movements affect the lives of the three sisters is also plotted to startling effects. Priya and Deepa's feats are not impossible, but most Indians will know that these are larger-than-life scenarios. If somebody asks me, do I recommend Independence to my fellow readers? My answer is, if you have not read Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni before, I would recommend Sister of My Heart by the author instead. If you have and now want to read this, I would say, go ahead, but not with too high expectations. But anyhow, an absorbing story, and told well. And if you really want to read this book, you can take it from the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and please feel free to give it a thumbs up or share it with any other fellow.